My soul bows to you. Namaskar. Namaskar everyone, and welcome to day 6 of our meditation practice. These practices are geared towards total well-being. Of course, the journey of life is a journey of evolution in consciousness. So the goal is to expand the consciousness infinitely, to come into that place where we can feel connected to infinite being. But we are consciousness beings or spiritual beings in a human experience, operating at different levels of energy in the human experience. Mental, communicative, emotional, vital, sexual, physical. And yesterday I gave you the spectrum on which we are operating in the consciousness at the different levels of being. So the goal would be to establish ourselves in that pure consciousness. That's where the evolution of consciousness takes us, to that state of pure consciousness. So we need to be established there, and then to give attention to every level of being, because these meditations are for total well-being. So you do not only want to evolve in your consciousness fully, but you want to manifest the best energies from that consciousness space into the human experience at every level, so you are always optimally well. That's the goal, to enjoy the human experience fully. Some of us, we are so caught up in the mind that we neglect other areas of being: emotional, vital, management of sexual energy, physical. So the goal would be to give attention to every level of being and energize every level of being for a new day. We have chosen morning meditation so you can prepare for a new day. So in today's meditation, we are going to continue to stay in that space of conscious being, seeking to establish in that state of pure consciousness where we can observe everything objectively without being carried away by the different energies that feature in our consciousness: mental, emotional, vital, sexual, physical. So the goal is to stay established in that state of objectivity in the consciousness. So we call that witness consciousness. That's a space of freedom. That's a freedom space in the consciousness. When you go there, you see life completely different. You're not carried away by the energies in the consciousness, but you learn how to manage them masterfully. So the essential step in meditation, the primary one, is to center in that space of infinite consciousness. Yesterday, I discussed the different levels of being. Now, it's extremely important to be conscious of them. So, everything that you are experiencing, you are observing it from the mental level. So establishment in the mental level is most important. Mind should not be carried away into the past, into the future, into old or by old patterns. So the mind has to stay completely in the present moment. Fully aware of every experience. Now, I told you that wherever you put your mind, you're placing energy. And when you create an intention or generate an intention, you're generating energies. The mind, in just holding anything in the consciousness, is energizing it, whether negatively or positively. Whatever you hold in your consciousness, so the intention will determine whether it's positive or negative. You cannot imagine the marvelous experience we have when we can observe clearly every level of being and energize every level of being in the human experience. Energize your mental level, the communicative level, the emotional level, the vital level, the sexual level, the physical level. When you can energize every level of being, you'll have the most wonderful experience in the human experience. So the goal is to learn how to be well and stay well at all levels of being. Today, I'm going to give attention to two major centers in the grounding process. First, we want to ground ourselves in the mental space. We do not want the mind to stray. And we want to feel that grounding. We want to experience that grounding strongly in our being. Firm and attentive mind, focused mind, expansive mind, intuitive mind. And then we want to be grounded in the physicality. Connection to the earth. Strong in the body. Firm. So in your meditation, your posture becomes firm. Body feels connected to the earth. There's a harmonious relationship with the earth element. And there is grounding in the mind. These are the two major points that you want to observe in the meditation as a beginner or as a practitioner. Mental grounded, third eye focus, and root center grounding in the perineum area. And then beginning to work the breath along those two as polar points. So that is an essential practice that we need to master. So we're going to practice that today. Mental centering, physical grounding. And when we have that strong, then we're going to observe the other energies that feature in that spectrum from mind to body. So let's begin our meditation today. First, let's sit in a comfortable posture, keeping the back as straight as possible. Head facing forward, chin level to the floor. Hands in a comfortable position. And we begin by giving attention to the experience of conscious being. Everything we experience in the human experience is experience in a space of conscious being. So consciousness, beingness, is important to be established in. Just observe that state of being. And now give attention to the mind, to the power to create thoughts. Here we want to observe the mental space without the compulsion to think. So give attention to the silence in the mental space. Learn to listen to the silence in the mental space. As you let go of thoughts, the space naturally becomes peaceful. And just stay there comfortably focused. Expansive awareness in the mind. Mind is an open mind. And now, let's practice third eye center breathing. So as you focus on that third eye center, begin to breathe with the Ujjayi breath. Always remember that when you breathe out completely, you push the breath out, then it's easier to breathe in. So push the breath out and listen to the sound of the Ujjayi breath. Pausing for a moment at the end of the out breath, then breathing. As you breathe in, keep a back of your neck focus at the medulla area and the third eye. And keep a rhythm in the breath. Rhythm promotes harmony, restfulness, grace, flow. So learn to enjoy that flow of the breath. Just observing, letting go of thoughts, observing the experience of breathing. Open the belly to breathe, expand the chest to breathe, lift the shoulders gently to breathe, and learn to breathe out completely and breathe in fully. Stay in the rhythm of the breath. So this is essential consciousness training, mind training, developing present moment awareness, staying in the now, staying with what is, and staying with the all of you. Now take your attention right down to the perineum area. And as you breathe out, take your attention down the spinal column, ending the breath at the perineum and connecting with the earth. And then as you breathe in, contract that perineum area so your consciousness is firmly held there, and breathe in with a contracted perineum. Taking your attention up along the spine, right to the back of the neck in the medulla area, coming across the brain to the third eye. And then breathing out once again down the spinal column. Keep the tip of the tongue on the palate. That's for completing your energy circuit there. So breathing out down the center line of the body to the perineum area and breathing up along the spine. Now when you hold the perineum area, it is to create grounding consciousness in the body. So each time you breathe down to the perineum, you should feel grounded in the body. And when you contract the perineum, you should feel held in the body as you breathe. So there is grounding in the mind, and there is grounding in the body. And there is spinal breathing. Breathing with attention to the spinal column. And the goal would be to be attentive to the body, to be attentive to the mind, to be attentive to the connection to the earth, to be attentive to the peacefulness of the inner space. And this is how you strengthen the mind and strengthen the body. stay in focus. And begin to observe the subtle energy that moves in the breath. It's called prana, life force. You're not just breathing air into the body and emptying the lungs as you breathe out. You're using pranic energy of your subtle body to move the breath. And as you breathe up and down the spinal column, give attention to the different areas along the spine. Sacral area, belly, chest, throat, and then back of the neck. This allows you to nourish every part of your being in the grounding energy of the earth and the grounding energy of the mind. And then begin to observe what happens when you breathe into the navel. You feel that your body becomes more revitalized, and as you breathe into the chest, you feel the stabilizing of the emotional center. So with a peaceful mind, grounded consciousness in the body, give attention to that stable emotional space of harmonious being. And the vital power of the core, the gut power, as you breathe. But keep your attention firmly fixed on the perineum area and the center of the eyebrows. Those are two primary points that should ground you. This is an important pranayama exercise. For mental training and for wellness. Listen to the beautiful sound of the breath in its rhythm. And just be at complete peace with yourself. What you're doing is that you are centering in your source being, your divine being, your divine self. You're learning to commune with your spiritual being. And just hold the awareness of your existence in the divine. In the divine, I live, move, and have my being. In the divine, I exist. In the divine, I am. And in that peaceful mind, you can just let the Om sound resound in the mind. Energize the mind with the Om sound. Listening to the Om as you say it, feeling its vibration in the mental space. And allowing that vibration to fill your entire being. As you give attention to the center of the eyebrows, more and more you will feel that you are energizing the brain. You're nourishing the brain energetically with the prana. And now let's take a moment to come into the heart consciousness, that we may harmonize with the world around us. Begin to become conscious of nature around you, the elements of nature featuring in the body and in nature. And from that heart center, open up your consciousness to harmonious coexistence. As you bring to your mind the earth element, as you breathe into the root, the water element as you breathe into the sacral area, fire element as you breathe into the navel, air element as you breathe into the chest, space element as you breathe into the throat, and this is the energetic experience of harmonizing with nature around you. And now give attention to collective consciousness. That consciousness that connects us together as living beings. And the experience that we feel when we open up the collective being to give attention to all living beings around us and to harmonize with their energies by tuning into the loving energies of the collective space, the peaceful energies, the noble energies, so hold in your intention peaceful, loving and harmonious coexistence with all of life. And this is how we welcome a new day. and the karmic play that will unfold in this day. We are driven by karmas in the play. The actions and consequences of the past that are within us. And now let's create the intention for this new day. I center my consciousness in the source of my being, that source of infinite peace, love, goodness, wisdom, and vitality. I stay centered there, that my every thought, word, and action in this day be a blessing to my world. I give thanks for all the blessings I have received, and I pray to continue to be worthy. Om. Peace. 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 Namaskar everyone. I hope that you've been inspired by today's meditation practice, and it's geared to bring you into a masterful place in the consciousness. The mind needs to be trained, and this is how we train the mind. The use of the breath, grounding in the body, staying firmly established in that spinal column awareness and brain awareness. So this is an essential practice. In all of our meditations, we'll give attention to this practice as a basic practice. So the more you can do this, and the more established you are in the present moment, in that space of open mind, intuitive mind, focused mind, and you're grounded in the body, the more you will benefit from these meditation practices that are meant for being well and staying well. We want to enjoy the human experience. No matter what the condition of the body is, we should strive for optimal wellness. And these meditative practices can help us to do so every day. This is an essential practice to begin your day. Just like eating and showering and taking care of the body, dressing it for a new day, meditation should not be neglected. It is the cleaning of the inner space, the adorning of the inner space, so that you can bring the best of your inner space to your outer every day. So stay with the meditation practice with us. It's day 6, and I've been encouraging you to write a journal of your main experiences and the points you want to remember from every day. It may just be a few lines, but when you look back, you'll be happy that you did it, because you will see the progress. So have an exciting day, everyone. We look forward to you joining us again tomorrow morning. May your practice be fruitful today. Have a blessed day, everyone. My soul bows to you. Namaskar.